And the Cooper's hawks don't hunt hummingbirds,
Okay.
but they hunt the birds that do hunt the hummingbirds. So it works out for everybody.
Yeah.
Uh, they're like between the size of a dove and a raven. They're not a big hawk.
Okay, maybe that's what we should do. Could you stop it? Hey, stay down. It's like, no, she's giving attention to the birds, not me. I think he's jealous. He's like,
Yeah, yeah, they're okay. Just leave them alone. Yeah, they're trying to get some sugar so they have energy to get home. That's all. They don't hurt the hummingbirds.
Well, why do you have a camera set up there?
Because I have a YouTube channel.
nice.
It's Palm Springs Hummingbirds, and I take videos at dawn and at sunset.
Will you be on YouTube?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
You see us-
and there are people in Ukraine that watch these videos from bomb shelters.
Oh, wow.
After the invasion, I found an AA meeting in Kyiv, and I've been going ever since because people that are fighting for their lives and determined to stay clean and sober while they do it
Right.
deserve my support.
Exactly.
I get a notification every afternoon, sometimes during the day. Hummingbirds are ready.
Oh yeah.
And the video's ready.
Mhm. When they do that quick, jerky, stop and start flying, they're hunting fruit flies and gnats and small flying insects,
Okay.
and they catch them in the air.
That was my next question. Other than the sugar water, what else do they eat for nutrition?
80% of their diet is insects.
Okay.
It is sugar water.
No, insects.
80%.
Yeah. Yeah, they use the sugar water to get energy to hunt the insects. When the females are nesting, it's real easy to spot them because they'll come and drink real deeply of the nectar. Then they'll spend time with hunting bugs, come back, get more nectar, and then they'll fly right back to the nest so they can squirt it down the throats of the babies.
Mm-hmm.
Tell Darlene why you kept saying to her, we're going to go somewhere not dusk. We're going to go.
Oh, at night they can't see at all.
Okay.
During daylight, they can see several spectrums beyond what we can perceive.
Okay.
They're up past the violets and lavenders,
Okay.
but at night they can't see anything, and their metabolisms are so fast that they go into a suspended animation called torpor.
Okay.
Their respiration slow, their heartbeat slow, everything slows down, and their body repairs itself from the business of the day because in order to not lose weight, they have to eat over their body weight every day.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. And I think the going into torpor and only being out in sunlight is why a lot of the indigenous cultures assign them to the sun god.
Mm-hmm.
And they're feisty, so warriors love them. I've seen one little hummingbird drive off a full-grown roadrunner because it was heading over to the olive tree where her nest was. And the roadrunners aren't equipped to deal with being attacked. They don't know how to deal. They don't
Right.
have that brain.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a second, I'm a roadrunner. Didn't you read the brochure?
Yeah. Did you not get the memo?
Yeah, and the hummingbirds go for the eyes. They're too fast.
Eyes.
Yeah, they're too fast for the roadrunner to block or dodge. And a predator that depends on binocular vision for depth perception isn't going to risk losing an eye. But
You just barely see the feet. It's so tiny. You live in Northwest. You said there's only one kind of hummer filter.
well, the Northwest, like Seattle.
Seattle.
Yeah.
Okay, you'll have Annas, you'll have Costas,
Okay.
you'll have black chins, you'll have, in the summer, you'll have Rufus and Allens and Calliopes, because they love the long twilight. It gives them extra time to hunt bugs and have fun.
That's, yeah, because they do stay out really late.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I live in kind of a wooded area. Some tends to go out earlier.
Up in the Pacific Northwest, the dominant species is the Annas. But
Steve, you forgot what you said they migrate to.
well, the different birds go different places. The Calliope hummingbirds go from Yucatan to British Columbia. The Rufus hummingbirds go from Chiapas and Oaxaca to Alaska and Yukon. The broadtails go up, they'll leave here and they'll go to the foothills of the Rockies and follow those up north to Alberta.
And the hosses where
They go pretty much all over. A lot of the Costas and the black chins, because they're very local birds, they're southwest desert birds. So rather than migrate north or south, they migrate up and down and change climate by changing elevation. And instead of flying north, they'll fly up to Idlewild and Big Bear and Castaic.
how many quarts a day do you go through a tree?
It depends on how much they're using. Today it's been 8.
Wow.
2 gallons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they only weigh 14 grams, so they can perch on something really flimsy. In the olive tree, when they nest there, they nest out towards the end of the branches because it works like an early warning system. If something's climbing up the tree and trying to climb out the branches, and it can be really spectacular because I've seen lizards and roadrunners and cats and
Diane had a nest in a shelf nest. I think I told you the last time I was here that she had 3. Okay, but that wasn't the case. I was wrong.
okay.
It's always
3.
2.
Yeah, 2 is the normal clutch of eggs they lay, but 3 is not unheard of, and 1 is not unheard of. But usually it's 2.
How do they teach the young to fly?
They don't. They're born known. Yeah.
How can you distinguish a young from an elder?
The young ones come out of the nest bigger. than the adults because they have like 2 weeks of subcutaneous fat to keep them fed while they learn how to do things like fly. Because as soon as they leave the nest, the mother's done.
Okay.
She's given a month and a half of her life and about 20% of her body weight to them,
Yeah.
and then she's done.
It's like, get the hell out.
Yeah,
How long did they live?
9 years.
9 years? 9 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
The hummingbird nest, the last step of the construction is they wrap it with spider webs.
That's a good thing.
And the spider webs expand as the babies grow. And when they leave the nest, it snaps back and they can't get back in.
Wow.
And they only use the nest once.
Okay. What is their biggest predator?
Roadrunners and house cats, it's kind of a tie.
Okay, this is a really weird observation.
Oh, yeah.
I don't see hummingbird poop.
You're silly.
I would imagine
These
so.
little black specks,
Okay.
that's hummingbird
I mean,
poop.
I mean, everything poops if it eats, it poops,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
So, I just don't.
They'll poop on you if you're sitting underneath them when it's time to poop.
Yeah?
Yeah, we call that a Palm Springs baptism.
Does that get us into heaven a little faster?
I imagine it should.
Yeah.
Because if you're a person that the hummingbirds relax around, I think that's good enough for heaven.
That gossip that I so want you to tell, I think that, I'm sorry, but you think you're a musician or still are you?
When I got sick and got into the hummingbirds, I was too sick to play. I lost the musculature, I lost the calluses on my fingers, and I just haven't gotten back into it.
And tell us what you played and who you played for.
Well, I worked out of Musicians Union Hall, 369 in Las Vegas, which meant that anybody in town. I played with everybody. I had some favorites. I loved Perry Como shows. Great music, incredible arrangers like Neil Hefti. And Perry was an amazing guy who realized how lucky he was just to be Perry Como. Sometimes we do his song Seattle 2 and 3 times a night because it got picked up as a theme song for a television show, and it got picked up by one of the airlines for their show. And so we'd do that one because he would tell them, oh yeah, that bought me my house on Lake Como, that one bought me my, you know, and I get that because I did my share of jingles too.
And I think when you said Cyndi Lauper.
Yeah, Cindy's a hoot. She's a hoot. Yeah, incredible singer.
You did a tour in Europe, sir?
Oh yeah. We did lots of European tours. I preferred those to American tours because European tours you do on the train rather than airplanes. And if you have a concert in Berlin and you take the train into Berlin, the main railroad station drops you off a couple of blocks from the hotel, and a couple of blocks from the venue you're going to play at. It's not you have to go to the outskirts of town and drive for an hour, or get off the plane and catch a train to get into town. I didn't do as much live performing because studio work paid better. It gave things like residual, you know? Yeah, yeah. And like Perry Como, the most money I made off music at any one time came from a jingle. Yeah.
There's a couple that have a lot of white.
Uh-huh.
Are those a different type? Like there's one on the outside of that far left speaker. It has a lot more white on it underneath its peak versus dark.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's a black chick hummingbird instead of a costume. Now it's starting to really pick up. This is the fun part right now.
Are there bats here?
Yes.
As far as like with all the insects and stuff?
Yeah, we have bats.
Because I haven't seen any mosquitoes at night.
We don't have mosquitoes much during the winter here.
Huh.
During the summer, we do.
Yeah.
And we get bats that come and go after the mosquitoes. Is like at sunset, you can see the shift change from the bug eaters of the day, turning it over to the nighttime bug eaters. Seeing the bats come out is like the signal that it's okay. We're shifting.
So they're going back to the nest later.
Yeah. Although the males don't nest, they just find a place and perch. Yeah.
Is it usually nearby the
It can be anywhere they feel safe because they're going to be going into suspended animation. So they want tangles, they prefer thorns, they love the top of the palm trees. But they also will roost in the pyracantha hedge, and roost in the olive tree, and the bougainvillea. They love the bougainvillea because it's got tangles of branches and thorns. And I've seen predators across the street between the two hotels at the big bougainvillea stand. That's a favorite nesting spot. And we'll see the roadrunners and the other birds trying to get through the bougainvillea. They're picking their way through the tangle and the thorns. And the hummingbirds are like Luke Skywalker at the Death Star, zipping around without a thought, going for their eyes. When they see a very small opening and they're flying, they tuck their wings and bullet right through it. Yeah.
They could fly backwards too.
Yes. The only bird that can fly backwards. And it got some of the first Spaniards in big trouble with the Inquisition when they started telling them about hummingbirds. They were like, you are messing with God's plan here.
Do that.
Yeah.
My house will allow me to have a bunch of the windows. The railing outside, so it's no longer. I'll put up a bunch.
See this guy perching on my finger?
I was gonna ask you.
I rarely give them names, but this guy, because he likes to perch towards the end of the evening, I was looking for a name that like implied perching and kind of got stuck in Percy, and then I remembered my Shakespeare and Harry Percy, who was Hotspur during the 100 Years' War.
What's his name?
Hotspur,
Hotspur.
yeah. He's a fairly mature male. And he has figured out that it's more effective to perch and eat the nectar. But he's an excellent flyer. And he'll share if they come up level and in front, but if they come from the side or the back, he'll take them on.
I think I'll start walking back with him and start getting ready for dinner. But you guys just stay as long as you want.
What time's for later?
What?
What time's for later?
We were talking about a later dinner.
Okay.
That's just so pretty.
And
When
she
I
won't
have
hold
like my
more than one
succulents
finger.
on my deck and when they flower at the kind of the end of the summer, they just go nuts. And they'll like literally let me, like I can be out there watering and they'll be like got their nose stuck in the flower and just let me water all around them.
Yeah, they're gearing up for the migration.
How many clutches or whatever you call the litters?
Yeah. Yeah.
How many times do they lay eggs a year?
Well, the costas during the breeding season, which starts in October and ends a bit after the equinox, takes about a month and a half to cycle through. So they can get 3 and 4.
Do you notice that the population is getting
Yes, I've noticed. I'm like, I'm just going, wow.
Yeah.
And they're like waiting their turns and like,
That happens towards the end of the sunlight because they know when it's over, and nobody eats.
they're like, when great for you.